The air reeked of iron and ash as Alice Vera, the sword saintess, surveyed the carnage. Bright town's outskirts were littered with the corpses of Philemon's soldiers, their armor glinting dully under the smoke-choked sky. Her silver hair whipped across her face as she tightened her grip on the holy blade luminesce, its edge humming with divine energy. "Just big variants a year ago," she muttered, her voice trembling with disbelief. "Now overlords? This defies every law of evolution." Beside her, Marshal Cade, the spearman whose boyish charm had faded into grim determination, spat blood onto the charred earth. "Damn it all, Alice, if they're evolving this fast, what's next? Goblin Kings ruling continents?" His spear, Galespire, flickered with residual golden light from his failed ambush. The answer came in a guttural roar. Brutal, the 8-foot-tall goblin overlord, emerged from the smoldering tree-line. Jagged bone spurs protruded from his knuckles, still dripping with the viscera of Stampment's last night. His obsidian-black hide bore the scars of 100 battles, including the fresh gash from Austin's shield sword across his abdomen. "Mortal flesh!" Brutal bellowed, his voice shaking pine needles from the trees. "Bring me the ring!" Austin Grissom, the grizzled shield-bearer, stepped forward with an earth-shaking thud. His tower shield, wider than a man and etched with ancient runes, had weathered dragon fire and demonic curses. Now it trembled against the Overlord's aura. "Ring? What's this fool blathering about, Philemon?" Count Philemon forepaled beneath his helmet's visor. "I swear by my ancestors, I've taken nothing from these vermin." That wandering hero, Loder, he was the last to. Alicinia's eyes narrowed. Loder. The memory surfaced unbidden, a scrawny youth with too big armor, begging to join her quest 3 winters past. She dismissed him as another glory seeker. Now his name hung over the battlefield like a curse. The Overlord moved. Brutal's fist cratered the ground where Marshall had stood moments before. The spearman rolled aside, Galespire's tip drawing a line of emerald blood across the Overlord's thigh. "Still slow, you overgrown troll." "Rayakak." Brutal backhanded Marshall into a shattered oak, splinters raining down. "Weak!" Like the beast goblin liar. Beast goblin. The term ignited Alicinia's suspicion. She'd seen the reports, a scrawny, green-skinned runt leading raids with uncanny precision. Survivors called him the grinning pest, always escaping through impossible gaps. "Focus!" Austin's roar snapped her back. The shield-bearer's sword, heavier than 3 men, carved a molten arc through the air. Brutal crossed his spiked forearms, the impact sending shockwaves that toppled nearby pines. Scorching ashes. Austin's signature technique filled the air with incandescent cinders. Brutal howled as the burning particles seared his lidless eyes, but the Overlord's pain response was calculated. His tail, a spike mace of cartilage, whipped around in a blinding arc. Alicina moved on instinct. Luminous met the tail spikes in a shower of white sparks, her boots digging trenches in the soil. His reflexes, they're adapting mid-fight. "Marshall, stop gawking." The spearman was already airborne, Galespire's tip condensing sunlight into a laser-bright point. Super-tier skill, Skyfall Lancet. The spear struck true, but Brutal's healing factor sealed the chest wound before Marshall landed. Consuming his own kin to regenerate, Alicina realized in horror. The Overlord's latest victim, a twitching goblin scout, slid down his gullet as flesh knitted over exposed ribs. He's not just a beast, he's learning. Unseen in the storm clouds above, Lin Tian watched through his dragonfly-winged spyglass. Xiao Huan, his juvenile sky dragon mount, grumbled beneath him. "Patience, little flame," the goblin whispered, adjusting his stolen mage's circlet. "The harvest comes soon." His claws, unnaturally slender for a goblin, danced over the stolen hero's locket. The artifact hummed, projecting the battle below in emerald holograms. Crude, Lin Tian mused, comparing Philemon's floundering tactics to the war strategies etched in his mind. Memories not his own, a human general's sieges, an elf queen's ambushes, a demon lord's betrayals. The locket's true power, siphoning knowledge from fallen heroes, had been Loader's undoing. Pity about the wandering hero, Lin Tian chuckled. So eager to redeem me, he didn't notice the dagger. Now the locket's stolen wisdom guided his claws. Below, the battle turned. Brutal's roar stunned Austin and Marshall, giving Fellman's archers an opening. Emma Swiftwind, the elven sharpshooter, knocked a black-feathered arrow. Wait, Lin Tian hissed. The archer's posture, the arrowhead's runes, dragon-bone tip with soul-rend glyphs. One shot could cripple Brutal's regeneration. He raised the Stormcaller's ring, looted from Loader's corpse. The air crackled as 50 units of mana condensed into a micro-hurricane. Now! The tornado struck as Emma loosed her arrow. Brutal's roar became a blood-curdling shriek. The arrow had pierced his left eye, but the storm scattered Fellman's forces. Right on cue, Lin Tian grinned. Xiao Huan dove through the chaos as luminous holy light flared below. Alasnia was airborne, her wrath incarnate. You! The Sword Saintess's voice shook the heavens. Luminous edge split the clouds themselves. Lin Tian's grin widened. She took the bait. Alasnia's wings, a manifestation of her Saintess lineage, sliced through the hurricane's remnants. Each feather gleamed like forged silver, their trailing light scorching the sky. Face me, monster, she thundered, but the goblin rider banked sharply, weaving toward Dragon Island's mist-shrouded peaks. Not a dragonkin, she realized, counting Xiao Huan's underdeveloped frills. A juvenile, barely weaned. Yet the goblin's control was flawless, every evasive roll timed to her sword strikes. Super-tier skill, Iron Gale. Cross slashes of energy surged forward, but the goblin spun his mount vertically, the attack shearing off a cliffside instead. Impossible. Alasnia's breath hitched. That maneuver required anticipating her swing angle before she'd moved. The goblin turned, and for a heartbeat, their eyes met. Alasnia froze. Those eyes, no feral yellow, but deep jade flecked with gold, held malice sharper than any blade. They spoke of chessboards and poison wine, of wars won before the first sword was drawn. Then he was gone, vanishing into Dragon Island's eternal storms. Brutal stumbled through the undergrowth, Fellman's forces hot on his trail. The forest floor squelched with his blood, holy energy from Alasnia's final strike slowed his regeneration. The grinning pest set me up, he seethed, recalling the beast goblin's whispers. The ring's in Bright Town, he'd said. Weak humans, easy picking. A roar echoed ahead. Brutal froze, the scent was unmistakable. Goblins. My kin. The waterfall cave loomed, its entrance guarded by wary sentries. But these weren't the cowering runts from the great tomb, their eyes gleamed with disciplined malice. Who approaches the Tian Quang tribe? A sentry barked, spear leveled. Brutal grinned, fangs glistening. Your new king. In Bright Town's makeshift infirmary, Alasnia studied the Stormcaller's ring under magnification. The band bore Loader's family crest, but the gem. Count Fellman, she called, your wandering hero was searching for this, wasn't he? The nobleman started. The Stormcaller's heirloom. But legends say it was lost when the last Stormcaller heir died in the Goblin Wars, Alasnia finished. Except someone found it. Someone who's now using it against us. Marshall limped in, arm in a sling. So what's the play, Saintess? Chase the dragon rider? Purge the forest? Alasnia's hand closed around the ring. We dig. We find what the Overlord wanted, what the grinning pest stole. Her voice trailed off as the gem flared, projecting a holographic map. Red markers pulsed over the Great Tomb, Dragon Island, and Bright Town's orphanage? Fellman gasped. The image shifted, revealing a subterranean complex beneath the town. Ancient dwarven runes glowed along its walls. Vault of the Stormcaller. Lin Tian patted Xiao Huan's snout as the dragon gorged on deep leviathan meat. The cave beneath Dragon Island's cliffs hummed with stolen power, heroic artifacts piled high, their combined aura masking his presence. They'll find the vault, he mused, scribbling in a journal filled with battle strategies. Find the toys I left there. The locket around his neck pulsed, projecting a ghostly image, Loder's face, frozen in death. Rest, little hero, Lin Tian crooned. Your sacrifice taught me so much. The dragonling chirped, sensing Alicinia's distant aura. Patience, the goblin strategist smiled. When they think they've won, when their guard drops. He unrolled a map, crimson lines connecting Bright Town to the Great Tomb. We'll give them a war they'll never forget.